What's going on, lovely people? How are you? Welcome into the show. We're here with Fred and Dre. This is the Flea Flicker Show. Fred, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, Adrian. Happy to be here with you. Happy to talk football coming up on first game of the year and opening weekend. But let's dive into some news here, and we'll get things underway. So, breaking news here: we have potential comeback rumblings of Tom Brady, comeback 2.0. Who knows if that'll actually happen? I mean, he's doing a lot of good things. So he's got
No.
ownership stake in the Raiders. He's got a new lady in his life, Irina Shayk. Is that how you say it? The Sports Illustrated model. Either way, the
Sounds good
man
to
is
me. I don't
thriving,
know.
and the man's thriving, and I don't see why he would want to come back. Plus 40 years old, and didn't have too great of a season last with Tampa Bay, but we'll see. There's some contract issues going on here. We got Burrow. He doesn't seem to actually care about his contract. Not really worried about it.
Weird.
Same with CD Lamb. They both said we'll take the season as is and go into contract discussions later on. Not worried. But Chandler Jones, rumored to want out of Vegas and out of the Raiders Raiders household. And being a Giants guy, you might want to see him come back home to New York.
Hey, that'd be nice. That
I
would be
see
nice.
Chris Jones and Brian Burns are both holding out, so that's going to affect both the Panthers and the Chiefs' defenses dramatically. So Bosa became the highest paid defensive player with a $170 million contract. That's massive, massive talent.
Just in time.
And, good for him, good for the family, I guess. But a few other guys, you got Hawkinson got re-signed and extended. That rookie quarterback for the Saints got suspended for PED usage, and I'm hearing that Stephon Diggs and Mike Evans both want new contracts, and there might be some ramblings of those two wanting out of their situations, and that's tough for Buffalo with their Super Bowl aspirations. But we'll see what comes of it, see if there's any truth to that matter. But that's pretty much it as far as the news in sports this week's. We'll lead it over to you, Dre, and talk any injury updates that might affect our predictions or any fantasy standings.
Yeah. Did you, speaking of the rookie for the Saints, though, real quick, did you see his photo shoot
I did
pictures?
not.
Jake Hayner?
I did not.
Dude, look it up. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's like some Blue Mountain State stuff right there. It's funny stuff.
Blue Mountain
But
State.
yeah,
That's
I'm
a
gonna get right
classic
into
right
the
there.
injuries. I'm gonna get right into the injuries, though. I'm gonna speed run this. I'm just gonna go over the names and if they're limited practice, if they're gonna miss the game, whatnot. So, well, we'll start right off with the Chiefs. Travis Kelce, big news. He hyperextended his knee. He is questionable for the game tonight, Thursday night, baby. That's a
It's never
huge hit
good.
for them. The Ravens, Mark Andrews has been limited. They expect him to play, from what I was looking up. It's from the injury last year with his knee. The Cardinals, Hollywood Brown is limited. He's got a hamstring injury. They're terrible anyway. The Commanders, Terry McLaurin and Chase Young are both limited. McLaurin has turf toe. Chase Young has a neck injury. So that'll be brutal if they don't have them, but it might be an easy game anyway. Panthers, this is a big one. DJ Chark and Adam Thielen, their top two receivers, are injured right now. Adam Thielen's limited with an ankle injury, and DJ Chark has not been practicing with a hamstring. He's questionable to
Yeah,
play.
Chark was injured during
That could
during
be,
camp, but I mean, hope to see him
yeah,
come back healthy.
that
He's
could
got
be
some
rough.
talent there. I think he could potentially be the wide receiver one there. I mean, Thielen's old in age, but we'll see.
Yeah, you'd
We'll
hope.
see.
After the trade, you hope. Um, After that, we got the 49ers. George Kittle is limited with a hip injury. He's going to be questionable to go. We hope to see him, but I think they'll be okay without him if he misses. Dolphins. Jalen Waddle is limited with an oblique. That's some firepower they'll be missing, but they do have other weapons too. And then another big one, the Packers, Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs, their number one and two receivers, both have been missing practice with hamstring
I'm
injuries.
telling you, Adrian, watch out
If
for
neither
Jaden
of
Reed
them,
this year. Dude's an animal.
Jaden Reed, yep,
I
in
think
the
he's gonna make
slot,
an impact.
especially if he's the number one receiver for him in this
Yeah.
first game. Um, they also have Rashawn Gary on the defense has been limited with a knee injury. He's a big player for him, so that'll be tough. Broncos Jerry Jeudy limited with a hamstring injury. He is very questionable for the game this week. That's rough. They've had a lot of bad injuries with their receivers lately. The Patriots, their O line has taken a hit. Mike Onwenu and Cole Strange, their starting guards on both sides, are limited with an ankle and a knee injury. That'll be bad for Mac Jones. And then Devontae Parker, also one of their top receivers, has been limited with a knee injury as well. So their offense has taken some hits. Rams, Cooper Kupp, as we all know, he has not been practicing with a hamstring injury. He is out for the first game and possibly for the future. They're thinking about putting him on IR. That's a tough blow to that
Tough blow to
offense.
anyone that took him in fantasy. It's a blow your first round
Oh,
draft
that's
choice.
brutal. Yeah. Seahawks, Jamal Adams is out with a quad injury. That's tough. He's their starting safety. Cowboys, Tyler Smith, one of their starting guards, hasn't been practicing with a hamstring. He could miss the game, but they're hopeful that he will play. And last on the list, Bills safety Micah Hyde has not been practicing with a back injury. He could miss the first game against the Jets, and they really need him back
Yeah,
there.
a lot of impactful injuries there. Really could hold some weight here in the Sunday slate, and especially tonight. There's no time to recover for those guys tonight. So if they're injured, they're
Mm-mm.
injured. There's nothing you can do about it. But we'll see how it goes, see how it shakes out. And speaking of this week's slate, how about we get over to some predictions we have? First games of the year. Who do we think is gonna come out on top? Let's start with Lions Chiefs tonight's game. What do we
Thursday
think's
night,
happening?
baby. Yeah, this should be a good game. A lot of firepower going in there. Travis Kelsey obviously is questionable, so that's a big hit for the Chiefs. But honestly, I just don't know how you can pick against Patty Mahomes against this Lions team or against really many teams at all. So as much as I think that it'll be a good battle, Jared Goff and St. Brown can get some going, and they got that good receiver. I just don't think they can take out Patty Mahomes. I think the Chiefs are going to figure out a way to win. So I'm going with the
Yeah, it's
Chiefs.
interesting because I actually went the opposite way there. It's actually one of my upsets this week. I picked the Lions to take this one, start the season off strong for them, and they're going to come out the gates flying. I mean, you know they're amped to play the Super Bowl champs. So the Chiefs
Yeah.
not
Well,
having Jones with his holdout and potentially not having Kelsey,
that's
Tony
true.
being kind of on the mend. I mean, you never want to count out Patty Mahomes, but it'll be tough for him. The odds will be against him this game, and the Lions are going to score. The Chiefs' defense, while it is pretty good, they have seen improvement over the last couple of years. I just don't see them completely slowing down the Lions' offense, and they're going to score. They're going to get both of their rookies, Laporta and Gibbs, involved pretty early, and they obviously have St. Brown there. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair.
Yeah, I agree. Now, with Travis Kelsey's hyperextended knee, I was just thinking, do you think Dan Campbell might have taken a bite out of his kneecap there? What do you think happened there? I
It's
don't know.
possible. I mean, it
Preparation
might
for the
be
game.
going against his own kind there with him being a former tight end and all, but I know he's got a soft spot for him and for the tight ends in the league. But we'll see. I mean, he is a pretty emphatic and energetic guy, so he might do some crazy stuff.
Yeah, should be a good game. I'm going to be excited to watch
Oh
it
yeah.
tonight. But next I'm going to move to the Bengals and Browns. That should be another good game. Really depends though on the Browns. What do you think about them?
Yeah, it really depends on my mind how Burrow comes out. There's been he's battling coming back from an injury, and if he comes out strong, the Bengals are a class there in that division, and they're a threat for a Super Bowl. And Browns, while I think they are going to be pretty good this year, they're going to be in a lot of games. It really comes down to both QBs. Is Watson who he
Yeah.
was with the Texans, or is he what he was last year? Is Burrow healthy enough to push this team over the top? Even if he's at 65%, he still has far better weapons, at least at receiver. Chubb and Mixon are both pretty good themselves, but
Yeah.
receiver with Chase and Higgins, they're phenomenal receiver group there, and it's pretty tough to, just like Patty Mahomes, pretty tough to count against Burrow. Joe Cool.
Yeah, I agree. I'm taking the Bengals for sure. I don't think I think the Browns could be good this year, but I just don't fully have faith
Hmm.
yet until we can see if Watson's fully
Yeah.
back or if he's going to be what he was last year, you know. So I got to pick the Bengals and Joe Burrow. I just have to. I know he's coming back from an injury, but I trust him. I believe in him. They fixed that O line with Orlando Brown, and I think it'll be a battle. I do think it'll be a battle either way, but
For
I
sure.
think the Bengals are going to take it.
Cool. I think we're on agreement for that one. What about my guys? What about Eagles Pats? How's that one going to go for you?
Eagles Pats. So I think a lot of Pats fans have a lot of faith in this game. I don't though. I don't at all. They got the O coordinator Bob back in there, so they should be better. But like I said, with their injuries, they got a couple of guys on the offense that might not make the game, and their offense was kind of questionable to
Yeah.
begin with. They have a good defense, but like, is it good enough with what the Eagles are going to bring there? Because they got A.J. Brown, Devontae, they got Swift and Penny they brought into the
Don't
backfield.
sleep on
That
Dallas Goddard.
amazing O line.
I mean, Dallas Goddard, he's a
Dallas
top
Goddard. I
five
didn't
tight
even get
end. I
to
mean,
him yet. Yeah.
people sleep on him, but he was top in the NFL in terms of yards after the catch last year. So, when
Yeah.
healthy, which he is, what the amount of weapons that Hurts has there are phenomenal. And if you pay too much attention to the weapons, Hurts is going to take off on the ground and beat you with his legs. So, the offense is
Yeah.
a nightmare to plan for.
They got weapons
Yeah.
literally everywhere. I don't think the Pats can do anything about it. I don't think it'll be like a total annihilation, but I don't think
No,
it's going to be that
I have
close.
this one being kind of a low-scoring affair. I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I can see something along the line of like 23, 21 Eagles and 7 or 10 for New England. So I do think Devonta
I could
Smith
see that.
is going to be an X factor in this game. Belichick is known to take away the team's best player, so I think he's going to
Hmm.
key in on AJ Brown, and I think Devonta is going to be too much to handle as a secondary option and going to really make a difference.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely picking the Eagles there. But yeah, it could be a decent game. We'll see, but definitely going with
Yeah.
the Eagles. I'm gonna go ahead and move to a different game. The Texans are heading to Baltimore to face the Ravens. Um, could this be a trap game for the Ravens? I mean, the Texans got the 49ers D coordinator back there now as their head coach, and he's supposed to be a
Yeah.
good coach.
It's interesting you
And
call
the
this a
the
trap
Ravens are
game
interesting.
because I actually have this as like my wild card game of the week. So I feel like anything can come out of this game. I don't really know how to think of it. I mean, the Ravens obviously they have some potential there. They have Lamar Jackson. He's phenomenal QB and always a threat on the ground, decent threat in the air, especially with
Yeah,
the increase in weapons there with Odell coming in. And but if Mark Andrews is out, I mean, what's he going to do? If
that's
Mark Andrews
tough.
is out, that's his security blanket. The
Yep.
defense for the Texans wasn't bad last year, and it is likely going to be improved this year with Ryans as head coach. And they've got some decent weapons on the offense while improving. And C.J. Stroud as a rookie, he can come in and make some noise. Threw the best ball in the draft. So
Yeah, I like the Texans. It's just a matter of if they can put it
mhm.
together, and how long it takes for them to put it together. I like C.J. Stroud. I honestly thought he might have been the best quarterback out of the draft. I mean, that remains to be seen. I think they're going to rely on Damian Pierce a lot. The Ravens do have a good defense, so if they can slow him down, will C.J. Stroud have what it takes with that receiving group and the tight end there? They got Nico
Mhm.
Collins, Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz at tight
When
end.
he's
They
healthy,
have
they're going
some
to have
guys
Mechie as well. And Mechie was a lot of
when
talent
he's
coming
healthy.
out of
Yes,
college. So
dangerous.
thankfully, he came back from his leukemia scare. But he's a dangerous talent, and people forget about him because he was buried on the IR last year.
Yeah, I do have the Ravens winning this game though. What
As
about
well, I
you?
have that as well. I do have the Ravens winning it. It's kind of hard to pick the Texans this early on. I think they'll probably improve throughout the season, being so young, and they'll be better at the end of the year than they are at the beginning. But once they build that chemistry, I don't think they're going to necessarily be a powerhouse, but I think they're going to be a team that no one can automatically chalk up as a win, and they're going to be
I
competitive.
agree. Yeah, I agree. What do you got next
Yeah,
for me?
let's go Bucks Vikings. So this one here,
Mm.
pretty easy. I don't think there needs to be much time spent on this. I have the Vikings taking this. Flat, plain and simple.
Same.
Vikings offense is phenomenal. Defense has some questions, but the Bucks stink, and Baker Mayfield, you know what you're getting, and he stinks. So um,
Yeah.
I don't think there's really much to be said about this game.
Yeah. The only thing that I think maybe gives the Bucks a chance is that Baker gets hot sometimes. He's a little
Yeah,
streaky. He can get really hot. He's got Mike Evans and some other guys
Mike
back
Evans,
there that
Godwin.
can be dangerous if Mike Evans even wants to play. I don't know. He's a little questionable with them right now too. But yeah, Godwin. But yeah, they got too many question marks. I don't like the coaching staff, and they're not going to stop Jefferson. They're simply not gonna. So yeah, I'm definitely
Yeah, they're
taking
not
the
going to have
Vikings
any
as well.
answer. I can see them definitely trying to work in Addison too. I mean, they did take him earlier this year, and you can see them really trying to work in their first round pick and get him as much work
Hmm.
as he can against a team that he can beat up. So you might see a lot
Yeah,
of
and they
Addison.
just paid Hawkinson too, so
Yeah,
Hawkinson's probably going to want to make a
yeah,
statement. So it's over.
it's
It's
over.
over.
It was over before it even started.
Yeah, so let's just move from it. Let's go to the Panthers versus Falcons. They're going into Atlanta. This will be an interesting game. I honestly I liked the Panthers when they first drafted Bryce Young and when they got that coaching staff together, but the preseason just looked so rough for
Yeah,
them, and the Falcons look kind of like a decent team. So I don't think the Panthers will really be able to get enough going to where they can take out the Falcons in this first game of the season. What do
I
you
agree
think
with that
about it?
one. I mean, Panthers. I just don't think they're going to be all that good. I mean, the division's not good itself,
Hmm.
but Bryce Young, I don't have a ton of faith in him. I think it's going to be a lot of there's a lot of chemistry that needs to be made there with all of their offensive pieces being new. So
Yeah.
it's one thing if you just bring in a QB and everyone else has a cohesiveness around them, but everyone's new, everyone's learning, everyone's trying to get adjusted to a new playbook. So
Yep.
I think that Panthers are going to struggle, and the Falcons are going to feed Bijan. They're going to feed Bijan, and
Yep.
he's going to eat. He's going to run all over the Panthers, and I really think they're going to target Drake London as well. Drake London, I think, is going to be a top tier receiver this year, and I do think they're going to get him heavily involved as well as my guy Bijan from Texas.
Yeah. Hey, don't sleep on Kyle Pitts either. He could
I
make a
want to
break
see
a big
Kyle
play
Pitts do
whenever he
great.
wants.
I mean, he's from the Philadelphia area, and I would love to see him do something. But after that rookie year, it's just hard to trust him. Granted, he hasn't been in a great situation at any point in his career, so we'll see kind of how that goes. But he's just been disappointing so far, and would love to see his talent shine and come through.
Yeah, I agree. So Falcons for
Yeah.
both of us. Let's move. What do you got next
Staying
here?
in division there, how about Titans versus Saints? With the Saints being
Hmm.
arguably the better team in the division, do you think they can come out on top against the
Arguably.
Titans? What do you got going on this one?
Yeah, so this is actually a game that I think might be really close. I like the Titans coaching staff, but they have some serious question marks on the O line specifically. Their O line was complete trash last year, and adding Dillard and Skoronski, will that improve
Mhm.
it? That's a big question mark. If Derrick Henry can't get moving behind that O line, what are they going to do? They added D Hop, like maybe they can get the ball going with him a little bit, and maybe Traylon Burks can come in and do what they wanted him to do last year. But there's so many question marks. But with the Saints, there's also question marks, right? Like I don't trust their coaching staff. Derek Carr's, he's a good quarterback. We'll see what he can do there, but and Kamara's out, but
Yeah, I mean,
what do you?
yeah, I agree
I
with
don't
this.
know. It's
I
it's
think it'll be
close.
a pretty close game. Um, Obviously, if Derrick Henry can get moving, he's difficult, if not impossible, to stop. And the
Yep.
passing game is leaves a lot left to be desired there. And um, I mean, Tannehill, he's going to be on his way out at some point, but with Burks and Hopkins, he has decent weapons at receiver, especially their tight end from last year, the rookie that's going to, I don't want to butcher his last name, Akonwo. Is that how you pronounce the name?
It sounds
Okay.
right. It sounds right to me.
Honestly, sorry if I did mispronounce it, but phenomenal talent. I think he's going to be a very good tight end in the league, and whether it is to be this year or years following, when he could get to chemistry with Levis or whoever might come in and be the heir apparent to Tannehill. Tannehill just isn't very exciting at QB. Um, but
Yeah,
the Saints on the other end
he's
do have
okay.
the better QB in the matchup. They have Carr. Kamara's out, so they're going to be relying
Arguable.
on Williams. Williams was great last year, but mostly in the red zone. And the receivers with the Saints outside of Olave, Michael Thomas, what are you going to get? Is he going to be the Michael Thomas of old,
Hmm.
or what we have been more accustomed to see?
See, that's what they're saying in practice, but I'll see
We'll
it when
see. I mean,
I'll
everyone
believe it when I
everyone
see it.
talks up their own guys, so are they blowing smoke
Yeah.
up your ass, or is it actually true? Um, But
Yeah,
this one, I actually
I think this will.
I wanted to go Saints just because I believe the Saints are going to finish higher in their division than the Titans will.
Hmm.
But I went Titans. I think Titans are going to pull an upset in
Yeah,
this and just do enough to get the win. Not necessarily play great, but do enough.
yeah, I think it'll be a defensive slog, and I also picked the Titans. I just think either Derek Thomas or D Hop are just going to make one extra play to win that game. That's what
Yeah,
I got
I
for
can see
that.
that. You want to move on to staying with the Titans division, Jags Colts.
Yeah, let's do it. Jags Colts. That I don't have a lot of faith in this game, to be honest. The Jags, they have a lot of weapons on offense. The O line's a bit of a question mark. Maybe Anton can do something, but with Ridley, Kirk, and Ingram, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be able to find enough points that the Colts just aren't going to be able to match
Yeah,
because the Colts are questionable throughout that entire team
agree.
from
The
quarterback
Colts are
on.
kind of just going into a rebuild mode, and the
Yep.
Jags made the playoffs last year and made some noise in the playoffs. So Trevor Lawrence made big strides last year. You can probably count on him making some strides this year and trying to get into the upper echelon of QBs in the league. And I mean, Trevor Lawrence throwing to Ridley, throwing to Kirk, throwing to Jones, Ingram. He has a lot of weapons to throw to.
Yep.
I can see them getting out to a big lead early, and this being a game where the second half is really just the Etienne and the Tank Bigsby show. So I can see those guys getting a lot of work
Yeah.
in the back half of the game just because of the big lead.
Yeah, I am excited to see what Richardson can do, but I think it's going to be a mess, especially week one.
Yeah, I mean, after seeing Richardson and the Colts play in the preseason, the little amount of time I did see Richardson play against the Eagles' second team, he is electric. Dude is so fast.
Yep.
He had some errant throws, poor decision making throwing down the field, but I mean, his arm is amazing. Dude can launch it, and he is so fast. If he pans out, he's going to be a cheat code. I mean, he's going to be a bigger
Yeah.
Michael Vick. I mean, that's
Yeah,
giving
basically.
a high praise there. Michael Vick was a phenomenal quarterback, but if he
Yeah.
can be
I've
his
seen
potential,
I've seen a lot of comparisons to Cam Newton.
large bodied guy, fast, strong, big arm.
Yeah, he should be fun. As long as Steichen can get him going like he wants to, and as long as he figures it out with Pittman there, because at least he's got one receiver.
Better
So.
than none, right?
Yeah, but yeah, let's move on to the Cardinals heading into Washington, taking on the Commandos. Yeah, I don't know about this game. The Cardinals are kind of a trash franchise right now. They're probably going to be the laughingstock of the league, and I don't even know who their quarterback's going to be. Is it going to be Clayton Tune, the fifth-round rookie? Josh Dobbs? Maybe. He played last year a little bit in the playoff game, but they're a mess, and I just think this is going to be a bad game for them.
Yeah, I
What do you
completely
think?
agree. I mean, the Cardinals are not good. I don't think Jonathan Gannon's a good coach. I think he's an overrated defensive coordinator. I think he was helped out by the pieces.
Pew, 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 pew,
Pew,
pew.
pew, pew, pew. He is literally a more cringe-worthy Michael Scott. I think he's trying his best
Yes,
to be
he
Michael
is very
Scott from The
cringe.
Office, but it's just more cringe and very awkward. But his time in Philly, I think he was just helped out so much by the amount of talent that was on the defensive side that it masked just how bad his schemes were, his lack of adjustment. So many teams were able to just come back in the second half and really make games that should not have been competitive. And
This is turning into an I hate this
this
coach,
coach.
talk.
no, his it might sound a little bitter, but his lack of adjustment in the Super Bowl, I think, is a huge reason that the Eagles lost.
I think he admitted to that being his
Yeah.
fault
Um,
on camera.
I mean, obviously, like I think
But,
out of the gates, a lot of times the defense would perform well, but then the coach on the opposite side would adjust and try to develop new schemes throughout the game to beat that defense, and he never reacted. He just stayed with the same thing that they had planned for at halftime. So, if he's going to be a successful head coach, there has to be some adjustments that he's going to make to his approach, and it's not going to be this year, certainly. Especially with Kyler
Yeah,
Murray
no,
not
I
there,
think-
he can't get bailed out really.
Yeah,
I'd like to see Clayton Tune. I'd like to see Clayton's his first name, right?
I did too. I want to see him.
Yeah, I'd like to
Yeah.
see Tune. He's pretty athletic. I think he he's an unknown, so you might want to see an unknown rather than Josh Dobbs, who's been in the league for a little bit. And while Dobbs was good at Tennessee, I don't necessarily know that he's done much of anything in the league. So
Very smart guy. He hasn't
no,
done much though.
I'd personally like
Yeah,
to see the unknown
I
guy.
don't think the Cardinals really have a shot in this one. I like Sam Howell too,
I
by the
do as
way.
well.
I thought he should have been like a top pick in that draft. And I think he's going to show why the Commanders actually believe in him. And I think Eric Bieniemy is going to, figure out a way to really get him to find Scary Terry as long as he plays, and Jahan
Dotson,
Dotson.
and don't forget Samuel.
And I don't think it'll be
Curtis
Curtis
Samuel, wide
Samuel.
receiver
Yeah,
three
him
there.
too.
That's a good wide receiver three. So I mean, he's got weapons,
Yeah,
and he can run.
they got a good defense
In
too.
today's NFL, if you can run, you can make plays, and he averaged like 7 yards a game in college. So I think he's gonna be pretty decent. He isn't anybody the league's really talking about, and everyone kind of counts the Commanders out in the division, but I think they're gonna be a pretty decent team.
I think they're going to wreck the
For
Cardinals
sure.
in this game.
For
I don't think
sure.
it's going to be anywhere near close. And I think the Commanders are kind of going to convince people and confuse people, maybe trick people into thinking that they're a possible playoff team, which, I mean, maybe, but
They'll be
yeah.
okay. They won't
Either
be
way,
good.
I
But
think
they're
they're going
gonna
to
be
wreck the
okay.
Cardinals.
They're not going to be bad.
Yeah. But let's move to the 49ers are heading into Pittsburgh. I think this is going to be a
It's going to be a
good
great game.
Um, yeah, what do you
Yeah, I
think
mean, it's
about
two really good defenses with two amazing players. You got
it?
TJ
Yeah.
Watt and you have Bosa. I mean, this is gonna be a battle. You have two good offenses, two high profile offenses, and I actually have this one being a high scoring game, despite there being two really good defenses. But I ultimately think Pickett's gonna come on top of Pert. I'm gonna change my wording there.
Hmm.
I think Pickett is gonna come out on top, and Pittsburgh is going to beat the 49ers.
Yeah, I have the opposite. I think the Niners are going to pull it off, but I think it's going to be a really good game. I'm going to be watching this one. McCaffrey, Debo, Ayuk, and maybe Kittle if he plays on offense. Purdy's just got such a wealth of weapons there. It'll be tough for the Steelers, but I
Yeah.
trust the
This
Steelers
is a real
too. They
wild
look
card
really good in the
game. It can
preseason.
go either
Pickett
way,
looks
I feel
really
like.
good. It is. It is. I think Pickett to Pickens is going to become a really dangerous connection this year. And then they got Najee Harris, who I think they want to run the ball a lot. This might be a tough one to run too much, though, on the
Yeah,
Niners, but this should be a really good game. But I'm going to pick the 49ers. So we're splitting this one.
I agree.
Is
I
this
had
our
a tough
split,
time
split of
picking
the
like
week
my
or
game of the
what?
week, and I think it is. But I think it is our split of the week. I think we're both really on the opposite end for this. I think Pitt's going to come on top. You think Niners, but we both think it can go either way. So we're on the
Yeah.
same page there. Game of the week, like there's a few really good games this week. It's one of them. It was right up there in terms of the best game for me, but I don't know. I don't think I just have it because they're two separate conferences. It's the only reason I crossed it out is not the game of the week, but
Mm.
we'll move on to another game here.
Well, I'm taking it. It's my game of
Yeah,
the week,
it's
baby.
yours.
But what do we got? It's mine.
Hey, it's a good choice. It's a good choice. I think it's going to be certainly entertaining. If you want to go on to another one, we can go Raiders and Denver. What do you got going on with the Mile High City
Yeah,
versus
honestly,
versus Sin City?
Yeah, I think I like that. I think this is a like kind of like a Kmart version of the last game we just talked about. I think it'll be a really a really good close game, and it's in division, but I don't really fully trust either of these teams, but especially the Raiders. I don't trust. I like Jimmy G, but what can he do with this group?
Yeah, I like Jimmy G.
I don't trust the coaching at all. He's got
I like Jimmy
Adams
G. My wife likes Jimmy
and
G.
Jacobs.
Everyone's wife likes Jimmy G.
Oh yeah,
But the Raiders, I think they're going to be a decent offense this year. I mean, Jimmy has a really good record as a quarterback, but he's also been on really good teams. He was with
yes,
the
his whole
49ers
career.
with their loaded offense. He was with New England and with Belichick, and he's just been constantly surrounded by good offenses and overall good teams. It's good to see the Raiders have Brady there as to kind of be a voice in the quarterback room, even though he's not. I mean, he's not technically, but you know he is. he's a voice in there, and
The Raiders are basically like the Patriots of the past
yeah,
at
right,
this point. They have so
yeah.
many guys,
um,
coaching staff,
Taking players
owner.
from the Pats,
Anyway,
and yeah, they're gonna. I mean, hopefully for Raiders fans, they can become the Patriots of what they were during the Brady dynasty. But I have Denver coming out on top of this. I
hmm
ultimately have one thing that leads me to believe that way, and it's Sean Payton. Sean Payton is
I agree
an amazing
100%.
coach, despite the targeting situation that happened to the Saints a while back. I think he's an amazing coach. He has a great football mind. He has a no BS attitude right now with the players, and he might come off like an asshole, but if that's what has to happen to win and get through to Russ and tell him to stop kissing babies, then um,
Yep.
yeah,
He needs it. Russ needs that. Sean Payton, I think he's the perfect coach for Russ to get him back into maybe not exactly where he was as, on the Seahawks, but get him back into being a good
yeah,
quarterback again. That's not worried about off the field stuff. I think his head was in the wrong spot, and Sean Payton's going
yeah,
to
I
fix
agree.
that. And they do have a lot of questions, though. Jerry Judy might be out. Javante's coming back from an injury. A lot of question marks. If they can get the connection with Sutton, though, early and often, I think they're going to come out on top, and I think they're
Yeah,
going to.
I like Sutton a lot.
So yeah, I have the Broncos as well.
If we want to jump to another one, we got another electric game, another great game this week. Miami and LA Chargers. That in my mind is
Yeah,
just such a fun game. I mean, it's two very fun offenses that are going to air it out. I mean, you're going to have Jalen
yeah,
Waddle, you're going to have
it's
Tyreek
going to
Hill,
be.
you're going to have Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, the
Mm-hmm.
Quentin Johnston,
Quentin
yeah,
Johnston.
Quentin Johnston
Yep.
out of TCU
I think they're going to try to get
for the
him going a
Chargers,
little
and
bit.
that I mean Eckler, like that game is just going to be so much fun. Um,
Yeah, it's going to be
who do you have
wild.
coming on top there?
That was a very difficult one to pick. I think this might be the runner-up, or there's like 3 or 4 games that are going to be
Yeah,
just really good. This is
fun
definitely
week
one
for
of them.
football.
Um, Yeah, I went back and forth. I thought about taking the Chargers because they have home field advantage, but then I was like, the Chargers don't really ever have home field advantage because their fan base is kind
The
of
fan
rough
base is
since they moved.
everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So ultimately, I think I want to pick the Dolphins. I don't even know. I'm gonna go Dolphins. Just Tyreek is gonna take it to the house one too many times. I guess
I'm
I don't
going
know. This is
I'm
a
going
really good
Chargers.
game.
I think Herbert is the better QB. I think overall the Chargers have
Better
better
O line
weapons.
too.
I mean the Dolphins have Waddle and Tyreek, but I think outside of those two,
They got Mostert
yeah. But I
too.
mean, if you look at weapons side,
He's
he's
not
not
like
Eckler.
those guys. Yeah.
So I mean,
True. True.
I think the Chargers take it just because they're more complete team, and they have the better QB. I also do
hmm
like the offensive mindset that their team has. I like a lot of the coaches there, and I'm not 100% on Miami. So
Yeah, no, I love Miami's coaching staff. I like he's probably my second favorite coach after Dabes in the league right now. Um, I think it'll be a really good game. The Dolphins have a better defense, I think, but with the injuries, that's even questionable to say. So I could definitely see the Chargers winning it. It'll be a really good game,
it'll
though,
be really good. This is another one
and
I
I'm
marked down
excited to
as
watch it.
50-50. Like it can go either way. Um,
Yeah,
just
I
like that
agree. It
Niners
could.
Pitt game. I think this one can go either way. If they can't stop Tyreek, he can go off for 250 yards. Like there's
Literally, he
no one
could.
on the field that's as good of a receiver and as big of a threat as him, except for maybe Eckler. But even Eckler, I think, is going to take a step back this year. And they're different
I
positions.
don't know
They're
if you can
different side.
compare him to
Yeah,
Tyreek
they're different
Hill.
positions. They're completely different players. So it's hard to compare. But he's just so electric and so fun to watch, and it'll be an entertaining game to say the least.
Yeah, it'll be fun. But let's go on to the Rams are heading into 12-man territory and taking on the Seahawks. Um, this game, I don't think it's going to be all that close, to be honest. What do you think about it?
Seattle, just Seattle.
Seattle, for
They have
sure.
the advantage
Yeah, I don't think
with
we can.
being a home field. They have the advantage with the head coach. They have the advantage with better receivers, especially with Cooper Cup being out. They're just across the board a better team. I mean, Aaron Donald can only do
Yeah.
so much. So I just think
Yep.
Seattle is just going to run away with this game. Gino is
Yeah.
going to show
There's
out
only so much
and
Stafford can
really
do.
make people take what he was last year and look at it and say, hey, this guy could be a top 5 fantasy QB at least. This guy can
Yeah.
really
I
make
love
some
Gino.
noise in the league and put people on notice. And he got paid last year, and I would love to see Gino keep improving.
I agree. I love Gino. I don't think we have to talk about this game anymore. Seahawks
All
all
the
the
way.
way. Let's just move. I like this one. Packers are heading into Chicago. This is going to be a fun game, a very questionable game with question marks everywhere, but I think it's going to be really fun.
If there was a game
Um,
that had more question marks in this, I don't know what it is. There's so many questions in this game. I mean, you have the Bears with Justin Fields, who can he take that next step? Can he do the year 3 jump like Jalen Hurts did? And they're similar QB types,
mhm.
so it's possible.
He's a runner. Can he
Yeah,
be a passer?
and that's always a question with those type of guys. And bringing all those new weapons with him, how is he going to click with them? What's going to happen? Green Bay, you have Jordan Love replacing Aaron Rodgers. A whole almost new receiving core. I mean, they have Christian
Yeah.
Watson, Romeo Doubs.
Well,
They have Jaden Reed. Like, it's all young guys. Two young tight
yeah, all
ends,
young guys.
talented tight ends.
Very young
but,
team.
it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is going to ride on if Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs can get on the field because right now they're both questionable with hamstring injuries. If they're missing both of those guys, I think the Packers are going to have a really tough time getting that offense going. Um, but if they're there, if they play, I'm taking the Packers. I think they're going to pull it off. It all depends on Fields, though, like you
Yeah.
said. He's very dangerous, and if he just starts going off and finding people and finding his arm, then I don't know if the Packers can stop him. But ultimately, I think they're gonna, as long as those two guys that I mentioned stay healthy.
Yeah, I think they're
Who are you
definitely
taking?
gonna be the X factors on whether or not this game is what we hope it'll be. But I have the Bears. Ultimately, just Green Bay, they were bad with Rodgers. I don't see them being good with Love. So at least not yet. They could
Yeah,
down the road. He's got to grow into being a number 1 QB. We'll see what that looks like. But if they weren't good with the Rodgers, I don't really have faith that they're going to be good this year. And
yeah.
we'll tell with time. But
Well, I think
yeah,
I think this is like a good first game for him, though. Like the Bears' defense isn't all that great,
no.
but
And I
yeah,
think the Bears are going to try to highlight all their new weapons. But it's just I don't know how much more is going to do against Jair Alexander. He's a phenomenal corner, and he can definitely shut him down. And
true.
outside of him, it's Darnell Mooney and Chase Claypool, which we saw last year. They couldn't do anything for the Bears. So
I
we'll
think
see.
as the number twos,
Yeah,
though, they
that's
might
true.
be able to be
That's true.
better. You know,
If they're the number 2, not the number 1, we'll see.
we'll see.
I do think it'll be a good game, though.
Let's move off that, though.
How about to your guys? How
The
about
last,
to
yeah,
Dallas and
exactly.
New York Giants? The New York
Saving the
Football
best
Giants.
of Sunday for last. New York Football Giants. Yeah, this is
Don't be confused with all
gonna be an
the
interesting game.
Giants memorabilia in my background right now. I'm at my father-in-law's house, and he is a massive Giants fan. So
Yeah, he knows what's up.
that's
That's
why
why.
it took him a while
But,
to warm up to me with
Yeah, me
son-in-law
too.
being an Eagles fan.
But yeah, the Giants. This is a big question of a game for the Giants. We're gonna really see if they can come in and be as good or better than we were last year to really see what we can do because this is a great, talented Cowboys team, an amazing defense. They have all the weapons that you can think of. They have everything going for them. So this is going to be a huge test for the Giants. We're going to see what receivers are going to pull ahead. Can Paris Campbell come in and start playing immediately? Is Isaiah Hodgins the guy that we thought he was last year? Is Jalen Hyatt going to come out and be good? And then the defense, we'll see if Thibodeau can get going. You know, and Darren Waller. I didn't even mention him yet. He's the number
Darren
one
Waller,
receiver
I
on the
have
team.
going for 100 plus and a TD this game. So I think Darren Waller
I
is going
hope.
to show out against the Cowboys defense. And I mean, the Cowboys defense, I think it's a little bit overrated. They do produce a lot of turnovers, but they also give up a lot of points.
Hmm.
So I think you can only take it so much at face value, and you have to look a little bit deeper into the numbers. But
They're just so talented. They got
I mean,
Micah
Micah
Parsons,
Parsons is
like arguably the
probably the
best
best
player
player in the league
in
in
the
terms of at
league.
least
Like,
defense.
and then they have what, Diggs as their one of their big
Yeah,
corners. They got a
he's a
couple
big
good
play
corners
guy.
now that they had to pay
Definitely gets a
for.
lot of turnovers, and he also gets beat a lot because he takes a lot of risks. That's the problem with getting
True,
interceptions.
risky guy.
But
Jalen Hyatt's probably going to get
there
the
you
best.
go. There you go. He's
At
gonna
least
run
once.
by
At
him.
least
Yeah.
once.
We'll see if Daniel Jones can hit him. Um, but yeah, I have the Giants taking this. I think they're going to come out and be the better team. There are a lot of pieces. There's a lot of fun pieces on the Dallas. They have fun defensive players. They have Pollard on offense. They have CD, Cooks. They have a ton of weapons. But I think Prescott's going to have
Yeah,
at least two. Like I think he's going to have two turnovers in this game.
he's been looking rough in practices apparently, and in the preseason. He didn't play too much, I
No,
don't
whether it's
think,
a
but
fumble and an interception
he
or
hasn't looked
two
like
interceptions,
himself.
I think he turns the ball over twice, and I could see one leading to a score, or at least putting the Giants in really good field position to score.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I agree. I'm taking the Giants as well. I think it'll be a close game, though. I think
Yeah.
it'll be real close. I don't trust the Cowboys' offensive coordinator and Dak. I just don't. That's basically what changes it for me.
All right.
So
And
yeah,
last game, I think we'll move on to another New York team. Well, two New York teams. Monday
Monday
night. This
night.
might be a cop out, but this is my game of the week, and I chose it only
No, I
mostly
agree.
because
I mean,
it's in
no, I
division.
picked a different one, but
It's New York, and um, can the Bills spoil Rodgers' debut for the Jets? It's a home debut. We'll see. The Bills' defense, I think they can get to the Jets.
Jet Life
The
Stadium.
Jets, they can definitely get to the Bills' offensive line. So
Hmm.
it'll be interesting. It'll be a fun game, but I got the Billies coming out on top.
Yeah, it could go either way. This will be the second game in MetLife in the same week. Isn't that fun? So hopefully the Giants scrape that field up for them. But yeah, the Bills are dangerous with Allen and Diggs, especially. That connection is crazy. We'll see if they can get Kincaid going. But after that, like, I don't really trust their offense that
No,
much after him
um,
because they haven't proven themselves.
I think Cook's going to be very good this year. I actually have.
He could
I don't
be.
think he's going to be good this game. I think the Jets.
Oh, this is the Cook
It
Bowl,
is the
by the
Cook
way.
Bowl. Cook versus
James Cook
brother
versus Dalvin
brother.
Cook.
Georgia versus Georgia.
That'll be fun.
A couple Bulldogs coming at each other. But
Yeah, I'm excited to see them. How many times they mention that during the game? Actually,
we should take a bet or take a shot every time they mention it.
I'm down.
Maybe
I'm
not a
totally
shot.
down.
I think we might die because I anticipate them mentioning it a lot
Listen,
of times.
I got Tuesday off, so I'm ready.
I got it
I'm
off
good to go.
too. So yeah,
There we
I think
go.
We might have to do that. See, maybe we'll film during the game.
That'd be fun. Live
Action, play by play. Yeah, Allen and Diggs, that connection's huge. Be interesting to see what happens this year if Diggs actually
But
kind of
will
works
Sauce
his
be
way
able
out.
to shut him down?
Yeah, that's true. And
If Sauce shuts Diggs down, then what are the Bills going to do? They got to figure
if
something
Sauce
else
shuts him
out.
down, it's really Davis and who else is there as a receiver, really. But
Exactly. Like
but you also got to
Dawson
look on the
Knox at
opposite
tight
end. Can
I
the
don't know.
Bills shut down Wilson? I mean, no one shut down Wilson
Yeah.
last year, but
I don't
yeah.
see that happening.
I
but
think it's less
maybe.
likely for Wilson to get shut down than Diggs. But the X factor in this game, I actually have as Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah.
He
If they
is
can get him
such a
going.
rare talent. And they're lining him up at receiver. They're not lining up as a straight up tight end a lot of times. And he's a mismatch nightmare for a small corner. He's huge. He's phenomenal speed. He's a really go get it type receiver. And to have him line up on a guy that he can just blow by and be much larger than, I think he's an X factor in this game. I think they'll try to get him involved pretty early.
I think my X factor for this game is actually going to be Mekhi Becton, the Jets O lineman, starting at right tackle. If the Bills had Von Miller, I think it would be done. I'd pick the Bills, but I'm going to pick the Jets because I just don't think the Bills have enough for it. Rodgers is going to be throwing to Garrett Wilson. He's got Alan Lazard back there as long as he plays. Dalvin Cook and Brees Hall are going to be playing. The Bills have a good defense, but can they get through enough to get Rodgers off his base? Can they get through Mekhi Becton's big body on the right side? Because I think that's what they're going to be aiming to try to do. I think they're going to target him, and I think he is going to. It's going to be like a make or break type of game for Mekhi Becton. See what he
We'll
can
see.
do there. But yeah, I'm going to pick the Jets.
All right, so we're on opposite ends there, and let's see what we can get right and add to our tallies at the end of the year. And we still got to come up with what that's going to be, that challenge that we do at the end of the year, where whoever comes out on the bottom end of that tally, a number of correct picks, has to do something at the end of the year. Any suggestions in the comments would be appreciated, and
Please.
we'll take them to heart and really look at what the loser will have to do within reason.
So
I'm not
are we?
adopting a child
So are we
from
going to tally up?
from a third world country as some of our fantasy
Yeah,
football
within reason. Within reason,
league
gentlemen.
members have proposed.